God is in the heart, when desire turns into prayer. I don't know where God is. Some say it's up there, in the white clouds. Others say it's in the church, in the holy book, in the ringing of the bells at dusk. But as for me, I think God is somewhere very close. Not as close as a hand can touch, but as close as a hunger, a craving, deep in my chest. I used to crave someone to listen. Really, not to listen to respond, or to listen to refute, but to listen, just to listen. At that time, I didn't call out God's name. I just looked at the ceiling, sighed and whispered something like, "Help me." And I don't know, some quiet feeling crept in, as if someone was really listening. As if I wasn't alone. At that time, I didn't see a bright light. There was no thunder or falling angels. There was just a bit of unexpected peace. Like the smell of coffee in the morning, or the sound of an old song that we accidentally heard again. Something very familiar, but could not be named. I began to be curious. Not curious like a scholar who wants to prove the existence of God, but curious like a child who has just opened the door to a forbidden room, knowing he should not, but still wanting to look a little more. If God is in people's hearts, then can I talk to him? Not through scriptures, but through the pain I am holding, through the desires that I dare not name, through this broken self. I am not a religious person. I love in a sinful way, I lie, I desire, I am jealous, I have wanted to disappear. But strangely, in those moments, I felt most clearly something metaphysical, as if God did not leave me. At the very moment I left myself. God, if he exists, is certainly not an old man with a white beard sitting on a cloud. But it is a whisper in our hearts when we stand at the crossroads, not knowing where to go. It is someone's eyes looking at us, and not judging us. It is the feeling of being forgiven, even though we do not deserve it. I used to snicker when I heard people say, "Let God in your heart." It sounded hollow, like a pre-printed greeting card. But now I understand, it is not letting God in, but realizing that he has been there all along. It is just that we have been searching elsewhere. The God in me is not power. It is not punishment. It is the blink of an eye between pain and peace. It is the moment of silence when everything falls apart, and I am still, breathing. If you have ever longed for something so much that it hurts, maybe, you have touched God without knowing it. If you have ever cried alone, for no one, for nothing in particular, just because you saw life as unfair and still continued, maybe, that was when God quietly touched you. And if you ever look up at a very ordinary afternoon and feel your heart tremble without knowing why, perhaps, you have just heard a whisper, very softly, from within yourself. Maybe God is not far away. Maybe God is the part of us that does not die, no matter how many times we have wanted to die.